I've always wanted a toy store here, and I just decided to do it because we didn't have one. I'm Matthew. I'm the owner of Totally Rad Toy House in Nashville, Tennessee. We opened in 2019. It was about 2 years of gathering inventory and keeping it in my garage, knowing that eventually we would hope to find a space to put it in. And eventually the space came available that we were looking for, and we were just ready to go. One of the things that I did when we started the stores, I kind of took things I didn't like when I go to other stores and try to make sure I didn't do that here. I like to go into a store and be able to flip through and see what I'm looking at and be able to touch it and feel it. So that's why we did these clear bags, to make sure everybody can kind of see and feel what they're getting, and to keep everything in their own section. So we have like the He-Man section here. Like this would be a kind of just general nostalgia. You get things like Street Shark, set cars. We have Thundercats kind of mixed in with He-Man, G.I. Joe. Transformers kind of go hand in hand with that. Marvel Legends, DC. We have a video game section. Ninja Turtles are real big for us. We can't hardly keep them. It's a very small section right now, but usually we've had that whole wall full of Ninja Turtles. Star Wars is another huge thing for us that we do. We have Barbie dolls, Monster High dolls. The plush wall here, or we call it the fun shelf. It just has kind of a hodgepodge of random things. It's pretty popular too. A lot of kids like come in and pull plushes off, and we sell them for real cheap just so kids have something to snuggle with. Rare things we have the G.I. Joe Command Center. It's got its original box. It's complete. Obviously Castle Grayskull. We have an original Millennium Falcon with the box. So vintage Star Wars is really popular with us. Every time we get them, they just sell so fast. So we had these in a big case, so now they're in a small case because they've dwindled down so much. But I've got the original Slave One with Boba Fett. I have this boxed Biker Scout pistol, which is pretty rare. We have a Takara carded wing nut and screw loose from Japan, which is something you don't see very often. Our wrestling section, since a lot of the wrestlers like Ethan Page and Matt Cardona come in here and do vlogs, our wrestling section used to be huge, and it gets just beat up now because those guys came in here, but we try to keep it stocked as much as we can. These are Smiskies. They're little tiny glow-in-the-dark characters. They're from Japan. These are really popular with our customers. This is probably like our 18th restock on these. We've sold these since we opened, and we constantly have to restock these because people love them. I would say probably my prized possession would be my Thundercats Lair, which is something I never had as a kid and I never seen until I was an adult. And one of our customers actually sold me his out of his garage because he was just like, I know how much you want this. So, and I was just like blown away when he brought it in because I've never even seen one until we opened the store. We've had a huge collection of Dino Riders walk in that were all complete and worked. And if you know how fragile those things are, having them all with like the rubber band still intact was pretty incredible. They didn't last very long, but that was a pretty wild collection that walked in. We've had some of the rarest Thundercats just walk through the door from people who just had them in their garage, like Bengali. We've had Mongor, Scareglows come in from He-Man. Some people don't even realize that they have something worth a lot of money when we try to offer them a fair price on it. Usually the main question is, do you have parts and pieces? I had a little kid come in one day looking for, I think, a Stinkor leg, and I happened to have a broken Stinkor next door, so I just gave him the leg, and he was like, man, that's so awesome because I've looked on eBay and they're like 20 bucks. I'm like, dude, just have it. Like we give a lot of things to little kids. That's one thing. I think that if I was a kid and I went to a toy store and the owner gave me something for free, I think that would always stick with me for the rest of my life. So I try to think about that when I give like kids. A lot of times they'll pull something from the dig bin or something else, like you can have that. I think maybe that'll stick with them for forever, I hope.